Architecture has run throughout my practice since I was at university, where I studied contemporary photographic practice. That led to me becoming a freelance architectural photographer. So after a few years, I realised that painting was still nagging at me. The first series of paintings that I made was the series Nothing Personal. That was in 2017, and they were acrylic paintings of straight-on images of windows. After that series, I began working in oils, and that then led into this body of work, which has sort of been gradually evolving since 2018. So it's important to me that the paintings reflect a more distilled version of the world. To begin with, I make scale model furniture, small chairs and tables and basic domestic furniture items, and set the furniture up in room scenes. The walls generally have an aperture in them in the shape of a window or a door. So once I've set up this basic configuration, I can then shine light through it and play around with different items of furniture, different objects in the space, and photograph it. There's not a particular narrative. I try to have some that are quite bright and well illuminated, others that are a bit darker, maybe with just a shaft of light coming in, so they create different atmospheres and different moods. The process of making a painting begins when I select the photograph. I guess I'm looking for something that has a slight element of mystery or uncertainty to it, that poses us a question. Why is that chair like that? Or where is the light coming from? So it was important to me when I started painting that the vision I had for the finished painting was something that couldn't exist as one of my photographs. The models and the scenes, obviously when you look at them closely through a photograph, you see all the joins, you see that they're made of wood, you see the reality of what they are. But in turning them into paintings, I can give all the separate objects within the scene a kind of unity and make it appear a little bit more sculptural, give it the appearance of being made from clay. I'm very interested in physics and philosophy and different ideas about the nature of reality. The idea that everything is fundamentally made of the same stuff, whether that's energy or matter or whatever you want to call it. That's kind of a core idea that runs through the work, and that relates to the paintings being monochromatic so that they have a kind of unity. It's important that the work has a sort of natural, shaped from the earth or from earth materials kind of look and feel about it. When I'm painting, I try to soften the edges, try to blend objects into each other a little bit. Instead of individual objects, they become all one thing. Using items of domestic furniture implies a human presence, but that's something I actively try not to think about when I'm making the work. They're more of evidence or the trace of something. What's interesting to me is that everyone brings their own filter, their own set of judgments and personal experiences, which affects how they read the work. Some people will view a work as very calming or peaceful. It'll give them a positive feeling. Others will view the same work and it will make them feel uneasy. Different arrangements of the same pieces of furniture can evoke completely different feelings, and while there's a lot of similarity across the paintings, certain works like Incidental, for example, where the chair is on its side, has a totally different feel to some of the other ones where the chair's sitting in a perfectly ordinary position. I think my favourite work on Gertrude would be Taking Shape. It's a bit confusing in terms of whether or not it's inside or outside. There's the direct light coming from above, which almost has an outdoor feel. But then the plant on the bookshelf is an indoor arrangement. The shadow cast by the plant is quite unusual, and in terms of the paintings posing questions, it's a very bright, sunny, sort of positive image, but it has that shadow just gives it a little bit of something else. I've moved into a bigger studio to make new work and larger work. I've spent a little while working on the surface that I paint on. So at the moment I'm painting on wooden panels and rounding off the edges because it's important to me that the surface that the work is on is part of the work. And I am going to be experimenting with making my own paint using natural earth pigments. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to pulling all these strands together and seeing where it leads.